We'll continue our discussion with the layered network models. So we were started with the OSI model. I hope you can see the slides and as well as audio and video both, right? Someone please respond.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thanks. So we were discussing OSI model. We mentioned that it is not a protocol, rather it is a reference model. You say it is a reference model. Strictly speaking, it's a reference model, so that different people who are involved in developing this network standards, networking devices, all those things, they could have some sort of interoperability. These Cisco making switches, IBM making switches, or Apple making computers, this guys, what do you say, IBM making computers, all those things should be interoperable over a network. All those were it was some form of effort to standardize things, so that these were systems which worked on different protocols could operate easily without any change in the hardware or the software which they run. So that was the objective regarding this OSI model. Now it is a 7-layer model. So 7-layer model. So application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. So these are the 7 layers. We started with the physical layer and data link layer. We'll continue the discussion. Hope this is clear. The interface has to be defined clearly. So you needn't bother about what is happening in this layer n+1, and layer n need not bother about what is happening in the layer n+1. It just needs to bother about what is any changes can happen within this nth layer, and it has to just bother about what is its interface between the layers below and above. Only those signals are exchanged. The final so for this layer, this is a black box. Similarly for all other layers. Now these are the intermediate nodes in the communication between these two devices. There are intermediate nodes. So only a subset of these entire stack runs on these devices, on this intermediate nodes, because you don't need to know what need the entire what do you say, message. You need to know the entire portion of the message at intermediate nodes. You need to disclose it as well. You just need to know the addressing. Some other things are required. Physical addressing, logical addressing, such things are there. We'll come to that. So then we discussed about encapsulation, decapsulation. Encapsulation happens at the sender side, and decapsulation is the reverse process that happens at the receiver side. That's clear. Hope that's clear. Okay. I won't be able to see the chat because I am on full screen slide. If you have doubts, you can just interrupt. If you want another explanation, so you can ask. It's open to everyone. I won't be able to tell who asked also. You can just ask. There is a trailer that is usually added with the layer 2. That is the data link layer. So the data starts from the highest layer. It is each layer adds its header information so that it can communicate with its peer in the other side. So at the receiver side. So header information communicates using the header information or overheads, you can say. Each layer communicates with its peer in the other end. That is the process. Now physical layer is the lowermost layer, is a physical layer. You call the data at the physical layer is called as bits, binary digits. Binary digits is bits. So it accepts data from the data link layer and formats into bits. Your modem does this task. Modulator, demodulator. So modulation. So it sends this whatever info. It is sent as what do you say, messages. Zeros and ones, converted to zeros and ones. What is the logic level for that particular media, for that particular protocol? Depending on that, it is just transmitted through the media. It might be the transmission media, can be cable, fiber, unguided media, that is electromagnetic waves. We saw a discussion about the physical media. That's why I just put that discussion earlier, because even though we are discussing it now, I scheduled it earlier because we will be a bit comfortable here. So and at the receiver end you have this reverse process, demodulation process, you can call that. So you recover this, what do you say, if it is an optic signal, then the say light, there will be here at this side there will be a LED, and here it will be a photodiode receives the signal, and this is a fiber, optic fiber, and at this side it will detect high-low pulses. So high-low pulses are at a very fast rate. You are talking of megabits per second or gigabits per second, and correspondingly the logic levels 0 and 1 are generated, and that is passed to this higher layer. So here the header information is understood here. So physical layer has to do with something which is called as MAC address. So physical layer is not the MAC address. I mean the data link layer has to do with the MAC address. We'll come to that. So other than that, the header information has to just a minute, okay. There is ഒരു മിനിറ്റ് മക്കളൊക്കെ അത് വയ്ക്ക് ജോണെ ചെല് എല്ലാരും കൂടി ഇവിടെ കയറി വന്നു ക്ലാസ്സിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് പിടിച്ചേ. Okay, so the kids came into the class. That is a problem. We are back. So you can see the slides. So bit synchronization is one task. Say if it is a synchronous network, say synchronous transmission, you need to provide a clock. We saw about the different transmission modes: asynchronous, synchronous, and isochronous. So depending upon what is the mode of transmission, the physical layer is concerned with this, providing this bit synchronization. Then bit rate, transmission rate, number of bits sent per second, that is also decided by the physical layer. What is the topology of connection? What is a bus topology, mesh topology, star topologies, all those things are there. Then what sort of connection? Simplex, half duplex, full duplex, all those. So your devices in the physical layer are modem. Modem is a device. That is what you talk about, a cable modem or a Wi-Fi modem, or you say it is earlier days we used to have a dial-up modem in the internet. Old days, I will say in our 2000s, we used to have something called as a dial-up modem. Still, so dial-up modem used to dial. There will be modem commands, AT commands. So we used to hear a dial-up tone, all those things, then some beats. So then other physical layer devices, your cables or guided media is say coaxial cables or fiber optic cables or LAN cables, all those things. So UTP cables, unshielded twisted pair and shielded twisted pair. We discussed all those things earlier. So these are some physical layer devices. You have something called as a Ethernet hub. Hub is a very dumb device. You can see it's used to expand the number of. For instance, you can connect several devices to this. Say this is a 8-port hub. It doesn't have any switching function. Whatever packet that comes into this hub is sent to all these 8 lines. So Ethernet hubs are no longer, it's used, say for example, if you want to say we have one in our IoT lab. So it's, but hubs now come as switches. They have some sort of addressing capability also. They'll look the address also, IP address where to which device it is to be directed. That will also be checked. Now other than but the basic hub doesn't do some sort of, it doesn't have much intelligence built into it. Now it's an outdated device rather. those who have Asianet connection would have seen this thing, the cable modem 210, Cisco 2100, the cables, all those things come under physical layer devices. Then we come to the next layer, which is called as a data link layer. Data link layer is receiving this data from your bits from your physical layer, and it is passing on to the network layer, that is a higher layer or layer 3. Other way also, it is accepting data from the network layer and formatting it as a frame. The data unit in your data link layer is called as a frame, whereas in the physical layer, you remember, it is bits, binary digits. Still when we go to the next layer, we call the network layer data unit is called as a packet. So this data link layer is concerned, the main role is to reliable transmission of frames. So we are talking of a big message, big data which is split up into small units. These boundaries, the frame boundaries, are decided depending upon what is the protocol. Okay, so the user is not aware of all those things. Okay, so this reliable transmission of data frames between two nodes connected by physical layer. There will be intermediate nodes. So data link layer doesn't know all those things. That is still higher layer manages those things. So that awareness is not there for this data link layer. Data link layer does something which is called as a physical addressing, or you call it as a MAC layer, MAC address. So all your devices would have MAC addresses. Okay, so that is a physical address that would be unique. That ought to be unique. You can clone MAC addresses, such features are all there, but still MAC addressing. MAC is a medium access control, that is MAC. MAC sublayer is there. The data link layer has a sublayer which is called as a MAC sublayer. So that is concerned with this physical address of the frame. Physical address of this. So this is added. The physical address is added to the header. This is added to the header of the data link layer frame. So then it is adding some trailer. Trailer information is usually added in the error control information is usually added in the trailer. So error control is to know whether your frame that is transmitted is damaged or lost. Say a lot of error control measures are there, error detection as well as error correction measures. So that things will take up. Say we have CRC codes, then checksum. All those things are related with error control. Then there is a flow control. Flow control is that for instance, maybe you are connected to a supercomputer. Your PC is connected to a supercomputer. Supercomputer will be able to send you, say depending upon your connectivity, it will be able to send you data at the rate of say gigabits per second, thousands of gigabits per second. But your humble PC cannot accept that data at that rate. So this flow control is done by the data link layer. So it ensures, say it's some sort of synchronization in receiving the data is done by this. You shouldn't drown, a fast sender should not drown a slow receiver. So it happens in your day-to-day life also. Some people, they keep on speaking, they won't allow the other person to respond. So that's there. So there is a data link layer does this task. So then access control is also there when the shared channel things, when you, for instance, Ethernet or Wi-Fi, all those things are shared channels. So shared channels are there. So a shared channel, how that is determined on the basis of the MAC address, unique physical address. So the MAC sublayer does this task to decide. Usually this is a thing that is common in, you will say, when we discuss Ethernet, we will see something called a CSMA-CD. So carrier sense multiple access, collision detect, such algorithms were there to decide who will share the channel, or There is old protocol for satellite communication. Satellite communication is called as Aloha. So such protocols. So we will see how this shared channel access. Then your network interface card, or you call it as a network card. So your earlier PCs, your desktop used to have some card like this, say PCI card like this. PCI is a slot, PCI slot. If you have seen a computer opened, you can see a PCI slot where you can plug in this peripheral component interface. So PCI card can be plugged in. This is your Ethernet port. Now most motherboards do come with a built-in LAN port. Your laptop also has a built-in LAN port. So anyway, there will be a network controller and other required components. So you say 100 Mbps, 1 gigabits. So two devices which are in the data link layer is your switch and bridge. So bridges across heterogeneous networks. A switch, your Ethernet switch, which is shown here. Say this is a very common thing. It's not. It is having some capability to examine the physical address, MAC address, as well as the IP. So that way, it will be able to deliver the frame to the correct. I'll say the correct node. Whereas on the other hand, hub doesn't have that capability to examine the address of the incoming packet, and the source and the destination address it cannot examine. Switches can examine. It can say, so this has to be delivered to this device, that manner. So you have different types of switches, say managed switches, unmanaged switches. So in your next day, I just went to the college. I took the photo of the network room there. I'll share with you next day. We have 28 port switches there. I mean 6 of them to provide the connectivity. So that is we'll explain next day. Now data link layer has to do this is from node A to node D, and there will be intermediate systems, node A to node D, node A to node F. So there will be intermediate systems. So intermediate systems, they are say initially it is delivered to the intermediate layer. Say the frame is delivered via the physical layer to the intermediate to the physical layer of the intermediate node. It unwraps this, sends it to its data link layer. It adds its header, data link header. So the destination address will be F, but the source address will become B. Then again, and it will send it. It will send it to E. So E will check, and it retains the destination address as F and the source address as E, and it passes on from its data link layer to the physical layer. And finally, so the destination address doesn't change. Intermediate, you will change the source address, because the intermediate nodes will add their address as a source address. So how this happens, we'll say, so how will you know that the data came from A? Where the picture will be clear when we go through all these layers, at least the 5 of these layers, you will be clear about it. But anyway, end-to-end communication happens, and the physical layer and the data link layer, they operate on the intermediate nodes as well. We'll see later that the network layer also operates on the intermediate nodes. That is where the routers operate. Routers operate on the network layer, routers. So the next layer is the network layer. Any doubts so far? Any doubts about data link layer? Anyone? Would someone want to ask something? Or are people there in the class? Yes, I see 41 people there.
Okay, sir.
Okay. We'll come back. So the network layer is concerned with your receiving the layer data from the layer above. Layer above is the transport layer. Transport layer sends its whatever data it has to its network layer, and so this is the sender side and this is the receiver side. So the network layer will add its header. Now it's where you come across the term packet. So network layer data unit is called as a packet. Recollect, the physical layer is the data unit is bits. Data link layer, the data unit is called as a frame, and data link layer had the function of framing, error control, flow control, physical addressing. Just remember the terms and you will be okay. Okay. So this is over end-to-end delivery, end-to-end delivery of the packets over from the source to the destination. Here is where you come across a concept called as the logical address. Logical address. What is this logical address? We'll see. Say that's logical address is what you call as your IP. You can say logical address is IP. Then another function of the network layer is you call it as routing. So routing is a very key aspect when you connect outside your network, or if your network is large, within the network also you will have to route between different areas of the network. Say for instance it's a WAN, wide area network. So to different parts you need to find out the shortest path from the source to the destination. That is what. So the routing algorithms, they decide based on some metrics how to deliver this packet from source to the destination through the shortest path. The shortest path metrics may be congestion, distance, traffic, all those things. Different metrics are there. Cost also is there. What will be the carrying charges, data carrying charges through that line. If I have 5 lines, what will be the charge which is the shortest cost path, like that. All packets need not be sent on the same path. They can travel through different ways, and at the other side you will use the combination of your physical address will ensure that physical address, that is a MAC address, will ensure that it is delivered to the correct device on the correct network. Correct network is identified by means of this logical addressing. So that is what is the role. The correct network is identified by the logical address, and within that network, which is the device. That's what. So so this is called this is a this is very analogous to your postal pin code. So you can uniquely identify the post office. Before that there is a prefix 695 that will be identifying that it is the postal division corresponding to Trivandrum. Then 695,587 or 695,016 is CET, Engineering College Post. So it will be clearly identified. So 016 is. Then you can identify by means of your house address, house number, whatever, TC number, whatever, you will be able to identify this is the correct location to deliver this packet. So it works very efficiently. So that's why we are having a communication in near real time I will say. The electromagnetic wave is very fast. Okay, and this the router is the key device in this network layer. So router operates at the lower 3 layers. Say I'll come back to this picture again. That is why we had 3 things here. So this intermediate nodes, I'll just turn on the switch. Okay, so the intermediate nodes are the routers. So you see that the routers have all these 3 layers: the physical layer, data link layer, and the network layer. They will have access to all these things. So they will decide, the routers will decide the path through which the packet has to be transferred. So routers operate in the lower 3 layers of the OSI model. Okay, so so that's the routing. So we will be more discussing about the routing, all those functions in the subsequent modules. So as of now, you be aware such thing: physical layer, all the physical devices, data link layer, you came across switches, then network cards, all those things, bridges. Then routers operate in the network layer. Routing is a very significant function of network layer, and logical addressing, that is the IP. You say the IP is a term which is not corresponding to this OSI model, but I just mentioned that because OSI model was never implemented fully, it gave way for TCP/IP. But still, I'll use to say it's a sender and receiver address that will be fine with OSI model, because it doesn't have a term called as Internet Protocol IP address there in OSI model. Then the transport layer, you call it as a segment. The data unit is called as a segment. So you have a broader message coming from the session layer, a big chunk. It is split up and into small segments, and its header is added and it is sent to this transport layer. So this is also concerned with this error control. Error control is also one role of transport layer. Transport layer also has a task of error control. So it's responsible for end-to-end delivery of the entire message. These from this layer onwards, the OSI model becomes very vague, because a lot of these layers, say session layer and presentation layer, were included. There is duplication of functions. They were included because of politics of this standardization process, not any other reason. They didn't know what to do with the session layer and the presentation layer. They just put it there, that's what. So segmentation and reassembly, segmenting the message into small parts and reassembling them, that is one task. So it will add a header, all those things. Service point addressing or port addressing. There is something last day I think Jayapal mentioned about sockets. So the port address, service point address or port address. There are known ports. One port which is common, I'll say 8080, 8080, it's a common port. Say local host, all those things. There are known port addresses. I'll share this thing in the classroom so that you can just go and check this common. There are known ports which are not to be used. So if you are developing a software and application, there are some known port numbers which are not to be used. These are fixed. These are assigned to specific tools. So that is there. Service name and transport protocol number registry. That is, IANA is a body which does this thing. There are some sort of some degree of control in some things of the internet, so as to bring about some coordinated things. Then the next things, the transport layer services and all those things, we'll take it up in the next class. We'll wind up the OSI model next day and proceed with our TCP/IP model. And I need some time to spend about this connection oriented service and connectionless service. I can't just simply just say around and go. We'll discuss these terms in the next class.